Well, good afternoon. This is Advanced Spanish. As you can see, we have a blank slate. And since we do not have any people in attendance personally, we're just going to record this for your viewing later. So we're beginning lesson 18, lección 18, as we follow the regular course in each of these chapters. We start out with a dialogue of expresiones corrientes, in other words, current expressions or up-to-date speech, so to speak. So the dialogue is entitled Los Dos Amigos. And los dos amigos are Gustavo and Ramon. So I'm going to read you who's speaking and what they say, what he says, and back and forth. So, los dos amigos, Gustavo, Ramon, Gustavo, chico, tanto tiempo sin verte. Ramón, hombre, ¿qué es de tu vida? Gustavo, ¿y la tuya? Ramón, pero qué casualidad. Gustavo, vaya, oye, vamos a echar un trago. ¿Un vermut, te parece? Ramón, ale, vamos, lo que tú digas. Gustavo, caramba, háblame de tu vida, chico. ¿A qué te dedicas? ¿A qué te dedicas? Perdón. ¿A qué te dedicas? Ramón, lo de siempre. El mismo negocio de seguros. No es un gran negocio, pero, en fin, se gana la vida. Mira, chico, en cuanto tomemos el vermut, vamos a casa, a merendar. Quisiera que conocieras a Tere, mi esposa. Gustavo, hombre, se hace tarde, no te molestes. Ahora mismo tengo que marcharme para coger el tren de las 6. ¿Qué va? ¿Tan pronto te vas? Gustavo, caray, no me di cuenta de la hora. Lo siento mucho, amigo Ramón, pero tengo que darme prisa. Bueno, Ramón, hasta la próxima vez. Ramón, adiós, hombre, que te vaya bien. There's a lot of expresiones corrientes, up-to-date expressions, real colloquial dialogue there. So read along with it as you listen to the recording. Vocabulario, page 356. Algunos verbos nuevos. Juntar. Juntar, in its generic sense, means to join. In this case, it's meeting up together. But the generic meaning of juntar is to join. So Ramón quiere juntar a todos los socios, miembros, entre paréntesis, del club para discutir un problema que ha sugerido. Todos los profesores van a juntarse mañana para discutir varios problemas importantes. Juan, Fidel y Tomás se juntan todas las noches para estudiar química. Número 2. Unir, reunir. Literally, unite or reunite. Reunir really means to meet together. Cuando varios estados se unen, tenemos Estados Unidos. Feliciano y Dolores van a unirse en matrimonio. El presidente quiere reunir su gabinete para discutir la guerra. Mañana los senadores van a reunirse también. Avisar. Cuando hay un incendio en una casa, hay que avisar enseguida a los bomberos. Avisar is to notify. Our cognate is advise, but it's like to let people know. El jefe de ingenio le avisó que iba a despedirlo a menos que hiciera más trabajo. Los oficiales del gobierno me avisaron que era necesario pagar los impuestos. Número 4. Llorar. To cry. Cuando Teresita supo que su abuela había muerto, echó a llorar, porque la había querido mucho. Los niños lloran mucho cuando tienen hambre y cuando tienen sueño. Si usted fracasara totalmente en su examen, ¿lloraría usted? ¿No llora usted nunca? Guardar. Guardar means to guard or to keep. ¿Puede usted guardar un secreto? ¿Guarda usted muchas fotos de sus amigos? ¿Qué cosa valiosa guarda usted en su habitación? ¿Guarda usted su dinero en el banco? Después del curso, ¿piensa usted vender su texto o guardarlo? Número 6. Engañar. Juan engaña a sus amigos porque no les dice la verdad. Felipe quisiera engañar a su novia, pero no puede porque ella es muy lista. Roberto cree que está engañando a sus padres, pero en realidad está engañándose a sí mismo. A los dictadores les gusta engañar a la gente. Preguntas, page 357. I'll just read them for the book. ¿Piensa usted juntarse con sus amigos esta noche para jugar al póker? ¿Con quién se junta usted para estudiar? Número 2. ¿Piensa usted unirse con algún grupo político? ¿Vamos a reunirnos aquí mañana? Número 3. ¿Quieren ustedes que yo les avise acerca de la fecha del próximo examen? ¿Avisa usted a su padre cuando necesita dinero? Maybe in this case you could ask not your father, since that's probably not possible in our generation, but you could ask your wife or your spouse, esposo or esposa. ¿Llora usted cuando escucha música ultra romántica? ¿Llora usted en el cine algunas veces? ¿Por qué no llora usted nunca? ¿De niño lloraba mucho? Número 5. ¿Qué guarda usted en el banco? ¿Qué guarda usted en su casa? ¿Guarda usted sus composiciones o las echa por la ventana? ¿Le gusta guardar recuerdos de sus viajes? Número 6. ¿Es difícil engañar a un niño? ¿Es fácil engañar a sus padres? ¿A usted le gusta engañar a sus profesores? Es necesario engañar algunas veces. Presente del subjuntivo versus el pasado del subjuntivo. Present subjunctive versus the past subjunctive. Now, You're going to get a group of one and then a group of the other. Juan quiere que usted le dé un peso. John wants you to give him a peso. Juan está queriendo que usted le dé un peso. ¿Qué querrá que usted le dé un peso? Juan querrá que usted le dé un peso. Juan ha querido que usted le dé un peso. Juan habrá querido que usted le dé un peso. Notice, despite all of the tenses in the first clause, the second clause is in the present subjunctive. The first one is just a plain present. The second is a progressive present. The third one is a future. The fourth one, ha querido, has wanted. We call that the present perfect. And habrá querido is the future perfect, will have wanted. Next group. Instead of the present tense coming in, we have a past tense coming in. Juan quiso que usted le diera un peso. Juan quería que usted le diera un peso. Juan quisiera que usted le diera un peso. Juan querría que usted le diera un peso. Juan había querido que le diera un peso. Juan estaba queriendo que usted le diera un peso. So what you see here is various tenses that are past in a sense, and then the diera is always the imperfect subjunctive. In the first group, it was the present subjunctive, de. Here, diera. So you notice there's a parallelism between the first clause and the second clause in the sense of coordination of the tenses. What we do in English is we just use an infinitive phrase. So instead of saying, Juan wants you to give him a peso, and Juan wanted you to give him a peso, we just make an infinitive out of that second clause. Not so in Spanish, not so easy, guys. Juan duda que Pepe llegue mañana. Okay, here we have a present tense in the indicative, in the doubting, and then the next clause has a present subjunctive. Juan duda que Pepe haya llegado ayer. So, the present leading to the present perfect. Espero que Ana le ayude mañana. Present, present. Espero que Ana le haya ayudado ayer. Present, past perfect. Present perfect. Have helped. Or has helped in this case. ¿Es posible que Teresa salga esta noche? Uh-oh. Now this is different. ¿Es posible que Teresa salga esta noche? Salga es a subjunctive. ¿Es posible que Teresa haya salido anoche? Again, we have a subjunctive here in its present perfect tense. Juan viene a la fiesta. Ojalá que venga pronto. John's coming to the party. I hope he gets here soon. Ojalá. That's derived from the Arabic Allah. Ojalá. Oh, I wish in Spanish or in English. Ojalá is one word in Spanish, but it's borrowed from the old Arabic saying. Teresa no viene a la fiesta. Ojalá que viniera. There's an imperfect subjunctive. We'll go over the meanings of these. Los niños duermen ahora. Ojalá que duerman bien. That's a present subjunctive. Los niños no duermen. Ojalá que durmieran. That's an imperfect subjunctive. We'll talk about all these tense changes. Tenemos el examen mañana. Ojalá que lo tuviéramos mañana. Que no lo tuviéramos mañana. Okay. The imperfect subjunctive is something we haven't studied yet. It has a variety of uses. This is an introduction to what you'll see. The subjunctive is used in different tenses, the present tense and a past tense, as well as a future tense, but that's a little more complicated. Okay, uso del subjuntivo con para que, sin que, con tal de que, y a menos que. In other words, these phrases, para que, so that, sin que, except that, or without, con tal que, in case, and a menos que. Unless. El hombre trabaja para que sus niños coman bien. Now, what's happening here? El hombre trabaja para que sus hijos coman bien. Para que introduces this clause with the, in this case, present subjunctive. El hombre trabajó para que sus hijos comieran bien. There we had the past tense, trabajó para que sus hijos comieran bien. So that's the past subjunctive, parallel tense there. El profesor enseña para que sus alumnos aprendan mucho. El profesor enseñó para que sus alumnos aprendieran mucho. Again, past tense and past tense. Teresa sale sin que su papá lo sepa. Anoche ella salió sin que su papá lo supiera. In the first part, present tense, and the next one, preterite tense and imperfect subjunctive, past tenses. Here's another contrast using the present and then the past tenses. Pepa entra en la habitación sin que su amiga se dé cuenta. Se dé cuenta. That's the formula is darse cuenta. In other words, to realize, to understand, to put it all together. Then in the past tense, Pepa entró en la habitación sin que su amiga se diera cuenta. That's the imperfect subjunctive. Parallel past tense because entró is the preterite. Voy al cine con tal que tú pagues la entrada. I'm going to the movie provided that you pay the ticket. Yo iría al cine con tal que tú pagaras la entrada. I would go to the movie on the condition that you pay the bill, you buy the ticket. Paco hará un viaje a Guatemala, future tense.
Tom, can you inform us what page you're on?
This is page 358. And I'm most of the way through the page already, so. Paco hará un viaje. Hará is the future tense of hacer. Paco hará un viaje a Guatemala con tal que su papá le preste algún dinero. Paco's going to take a trip to Guatemala on the condition, as long as, or whatever you want to say, his father lends him some money. Paco haría un viaje a Guatemala con tal que su papá le prestara algún dinero. Paco would take a trip to Guatemala as long as his father would lend him money. No iré a la fiesta a menos que tú vayas también. I will not go to the party unless you go with me, unless you go also. No iría a la fiesta a menos que tú también fueras. I would not go to the party unless you would go with me. No puedo hacer esto a menos que tú me ayudes. I can't do that unless you help me. No podría hacer eso a menos que tú me ayudaras. I couldn't have done that unless you had helped me or would help me. Okay, here's some key phrases that introduce the subjunctive. Hasta que, until, tan presto como, as soon as, antes que or antes de que means before, después or después de que means after, cuando, when, aunque, although, and mientras, while. So all of these have temporal meanings. So it's all about the juxtaposition of one time period and another and how they're connected with these phrases. Ellos esperaron hasta que Ana llegó. They waited until Anna arrived. Ellos esperaron hasta que Ana llegara. They waited until Ana would arrive. Yo esperaré aquí hasta que mis amigos lleguen. I will wait here until my friends arrive. For the future and a present subjunctive in that last sentence. This is getting into some of the harder things to get used to in Spanish. So make sure you have your vocabulary restudied, review your vocabulary, because it's going to come in real handy as you get further into this grammar. Salimos a la calle tan pronto como dejó de llover. Now, here's the problem. Salimos is identical in the present and in the preterite tense. So you got to figure out which is this. It's the past tense, the preterite tense. Salimos. We went out to the street as soon as it stopped raining. Dejó de llover. So you have a temporal comparison here. Something's happened while something else is happening. Esta tarde saldremos, future tense, a la calle, tan pronto como deje de llover. This afternoon we will go out to the street as soon as it quits raining. Notice the contrast between the first sentence and the second sentence. Cuando usted terminó su trabajo, fuimos al cine. Mañana, cuando usted termine su trabajo, iremos a la fiesta. Cuando estemos en la fiesta, nos divertiremos. You have to pay attention to the tenses here. Cuando usted terminó su trabajo, fuimos al cine. When you finished your work, we went to the movie. Mañana, cuando usted termine su trabajo, iremos a la fiesta. Tomorrow, when you finish your work, we will go to the party. So, notice what's happening here. Cuando estemos en la fiesta, nos divertiremos. When we're at the party, we will have fun. Ayer, aunque nuestros amigos vinieron a charlar con nosotros, tuvimos que seguir trabajando. mañana, aunque nuestros padres vengan a charlar con nosotros, tendremos que seguir trabajando. Here we have, yesterday, even though our friends came to chat with us, we had to keep on working. Tomorrow, even though our friends come to chat with us, we will have to keep working. Got to pay a lot of attention to these tenses. This is some of the hardest thing, I think, tense-wise, that you have to learn in Spanish compared to the English. El año pasado, mientras yo estaba en Buenos Aires, Teresa estaba en Montevideo. El año que viene, mientras yo esté en Caracas, Teresa estará en Bogotá. Last year, while I was in Buenos Aires, Teresa was in Montevideo. Next year, while I am in Caracas, Teresa will be in Bogotá. Guess you're not going to meet up together. Okay, the past subjunctive ending in SE instead of RA. It's just a variant on the form. Carlos insistió en que yo le acompañara en el viaje a México. Carlos insisted on my accompanying him on his trip, on the trip to Mexico. The next one means exactly the same thing. The only thing that's different is the little ending on acompañar. Carlos insistió en que yo le acompañase en el viaje. Okay, so what it says in the right-hand column, these differences are not drilled because they're really interchangeable, but you need to be able to recognize them because you could be confused otherwise. Acompañarse looks like it might be a reflexive pronoun, but it's not. It's just the ending, ASE instead of ARA. Quisiera que usted viera la exposición de Picasso que están dando. I would like for you to see the Picasso exposition that they're putting on now. Quisiese que usted viese la exposición de Picasso que están dando. Exact same meaning in English, but it's just an alternative. The SE ending is a little less common than the ERA ending. Yo había esperado que tú te levantaras tempranito. I had expected that you would get up a little early. Yo había esperado que tú te levantases temprano. Now, why they changed from tempranito to temprano, I don't know. It doesn't make any difference. The only difference here is that they use the SE versus the RA ending. Yo preferiría que ustedes leyeran una novela de Unamuno. Yo preferiría que ustedes leyesen una novela de Unamuno. Both of them mean the same thing. I would prefer that you all read Unamuno novel. Unamuno was one of the 20th century authors in Spain, one of the more famous ones. El general mandó que fuéramos en busca del capitán. El general mandó que fuésemos en busca del capitán. Again, no difference in the meaning. Fuéramos, fuésemos. It's just a different way of spelling that imperfect subjunctive. The general ordered that we go look for the captain. Si yo pudiera, iría a la fiesta. Si yo pudiese, iría a la fiesta. Same thing. If I could, I would go to the party. Then we have ejercicios orales. So for that, you will just have to read to yourselves and pronounce things as exactly and precisely and as much as you know how. And we'll practice them in class. Now, what they're drilling here is the use of the subjunctive in following the phrase para qué, meaning in order that. Okay. El padre compra juguetes para que el niño se divierta. The father buys toys so the kid will have fun or be entertained. So we change it from the present tense to the past tense. El padre compró juguetes. El niño se divirtió. The father bought the toys. The kid had fun. El padre compró juguetes para que el niño se divirtiera. The father bought toys so that the kid would have fun. Number 2, mi compañero enciende el televisor, nosotros oímos las noticias. My buddy turned the TV on, we listen to the news. Su compañero enciende el televisor para que ustedes oigan las noticias. Your buddy turned the TV on so that you all could hear the news. There's where the present subjunctive comes in after para, in the phrase with para qué. And then they put it in the past tense. Mi compañero encendió el televisor. Nosotros oímos las noticias. My buddy turned the TV on. We heard the news. Su compañero encendió el televisor para que ustedes oyeran las noticias. Your buddy turned the TV on so that you could hear the news. (3A) Este estudiante explica la lección y luego ese estudiante entiende la lección. This student explains the lesson and then that student understands the lesson. Este estudiante explica la lección para que ese estudiante la entienda. This student explains the lesson so that that student understands it. Then we put the past tense in. Again, we use the past tense of the subjunctive. Same thing. We have the indicative, the student explained the lesson, and then that student understood it. Then we have this student explained the lesson so that that student understood it. Imperfect subjunctive. Para que is your signal. We got to have the imperfect subjunctive, or the subjunctive in one tense or another. Same pattern. Then we come to sin que. Sin, of course, means without. Sin que means without that or unless. Okay? In English we say unless. We have a special word for it. María sale de su casa. Su papá no lo sabe. María sale de su casa sin que su papá lo sepa. Okay, first one, Maria left her house. Her father did not know it. Second one, María sale de su casa sin que su papá lo sepa. Maria left the house without her father knowing it. Subjunctive. The first one is statement of fact. She left the house, her father didn't know. She left the house without her father knowing it. A whole different meaning. María salió de su casa, su papá no lo sabía. Past tense, same thing. Maria left the house, her father didn't know it. María salió de su casa sin que su papá lo supiera. Okay? Again, sin que, introducing the subjunctive. In this case, it's in the imperfect subjunctive, past subjunctive. El alumno entra tarde en el aula, el profesor no lo ve. The student comes late to class, to the classroom, the professor doesn't see him. El alumno entra tarde en el aula sin que el profesor lo vea. The student comes into the class without the professor seeing him. Same pattern through that rest of that. Practicing sin que. Con tal que. It's like con tal que, on the condition that. ¿Va usted al cine esta noche? Voy al cine con tal que usted pague la entrada. Are you going to the movie tonight? I'll go to the movie tonight as long as you pay the entrance, buy the ticket. Or it could have been con tal que tenga tiempo, as long as I have time. Con tal que termine la lección, as on the condition that I finish the lesson. Con tal que, as long as, or on the condition that. ¿Comprará usted los discos de una ópera de Mozart? Los compraré con tal que tenga dinero suficiente. Are you going to buy Mozart opera records? I'll buy them as long as I have enough money. Or it could have been con tal que not sure what they're doing here. Los compraré con tal que tenga dinero suficiente. Los compraré con tal que pueda. They just put a comma there. Con tal que usted me preste el dinero, as long as you lend me the money, on the condition that you lend me the money. Okay, ¿sabrá usted español algún día? Will you know Spanish someday? Good question. Lo sabré, I will know it, algún día, someday, con tal que, on the condition that, estudie mucho ahora. Present subjunctive, estudie, as long as I study a lot now. Or con tal que lo practique, as long as I practice it. Con tal que pase el verano en Mexico, as long as I spend the summer in Mexico. There's a bribe, right? Con tal que usted me ayude, as long as you help me. On the condition, as long as. A menos que, section D. ¿Hará usted un viaje el verano que viene? Will you take a trip next summer? Sí, a menos que no tenga mucho dinero. Yes, unless I don't have much money. Con tal que no tenga. Sí, haré un viaje a México. Haré un viaje en el verano. I will take a summer trip. A menos que tenga dinero. As long Oh, unless I don't have much money. A menos que is unless, or right. Unless and a negative kind of confuses me for a minute. Unless I don't have much money, I will go. Unless I don't have much money, makes sense in English. ¿Llevará usted a su novia al cine este fin de semana? You're going to take your girlfriend to the movie this weekend? Sí, a menos que ella no quiera ir. Unless she doesn't want to go. Yes, unless she doesn't want to go, right? ¿Jugará usted al ping pong esta noche? Are you going to play ping pong tonight? No, a menos que mi amiga insista en que yo juegue. No, unless my girlfriend insists that I play it. ¿Comprará usted un traje nuevo mañana? You're going to buy a new suit tomorrow? No, a menos que reciba un cheque bastante gordo de parte de mi papá. No, unless I receive a big fat check from my daddy. ¿Va usted a Chile este invierno? Are you going to Chile this winter? No, a menos que usted me preste mucho dinero. No, not unless you lend me a lot of money. Now here's a confusing one. It always is a judgment call. It's not really a judgment call. You just have to be able to interpret the cuando, meaning when, or in this case, kind of if. ¿Qué hizo usted ayer al terminar su lectura? What did you do yesterday after finishing your reading? Cuando yo terminé mi lectura, me acosté, salí, etc. No subjunctive. 1B. ¿Qué hará usted mañana al terminar su lectura? What are you going to do tomorrow when you finish your reading? Cuando termine mi lectura, that's present subjunctive. And it's present subjunctive because tomorrow hasn't come. And I haven't finished yet, right? So instead of cuando termine, present subjunctive. Me acostaré, me saldré, I'll take a nap, I'll leave. ¿Qué hizo usted al entrar en la biblioteca? What did you do yesterday when you entered in when you went into the library? Cuando entré en la biblioteca, me senté. When I went into the library, I sat down. ¿Qué hará usted mañana al entrar a la biblioteca? What will you do tomorrow when you go into the library? Cuando entre en la biblioteca, again, present subjunctive. Why is it subjunctive? Because it's a hypothetical situation. Tomorrow hasn't come. So, yeah, when I go in, maybe I won't live that long. Who knows? Me sentaré. I'll sit down. So, page 363, tan pronto como, as soon as. Again, you have this temporal uncertainty. In the past, number 1A, ¿qué hizo usted ayer al despertarse? What did you do yesterday when you got up, when you woke up? Tan pronto como me desperté, me levanté. As soon as I woke up, I got up. Then we project into mañana. ¿Qué hará usted mañana al despertarse? Tan pronto como me despierte, me levantaré. As soon as I wake up. Present subjunctive. No guarantee I'm going to wake up. Might die in my sleep, you know. But if I wake, well, as soon as I wake up, I'll get up. So you kind of have to understand the mentality of the subjunctive. In these cases, if it's referring to something in the future that hasn't happened, you will be using the present subjunctive. I think you can figure out the final section there. Hasta que, antes que, después de que, aunque, mientras. Again, the subjunctive will be used when there's uncertainty, when there's a future that hasn't come to pass yet. So then we have the reading called Hidalgo. Hidalgo is a single word that derives from hijo de algo, son of literally something. Well, the algo in this case means wealth. Okay? Hidalgo is like our gentleman, okay? Someone who comes from means. So this is a reading and it's by the Cuban Jose Marti, late 19th century author in Cuba. We had a poem by Jose Marti earlier on in our career here, read the first few lessons. So I'm going to let you enjoy that on your own. And I think you have my phone number and my email. So get in touch if you have a question. Thank you.